As most of you are aware, this is, of course, a strong mayor system, and in issues of administrative authority, and particularly issues around litigation for the city of Houston, it falls within the purview of the mayor to help guide and direct those decisions. After much contemplation and discussion, I am directing the city legal department to withdraw the subpoenas issued to the 5 Houston pastors who delivered the petitions, the anti-hero petitions, to the city of Houston, and who indicated that they were responsible for the overall petition efforts. This is an issue that has weighed heavily on my mind. This is an issue that has raised a lot of discussion. Since we learned of the subpoenas, or I learned of the exact content of the original subpoenas 2 weeks ago. And at that time, in fact, the day after I learned of the original subpoena language, I indicated to the media that it was an overreach. We apologized. We said that we would narrow the subpoenas, and we have done that. And I want to emphasize that the existing subpoenas, which are focused solely on the actual collection of data for the petitions, are legal and valid and appropriate. However, I have decided to withdraw those subpoenas for broader reasons, and after a great deal of soul-searching and discussion with folks from inside Houston and from across the United States. It is extremely important to me to protect our Equal Rights Ordinance from repeal, and it is extremely important to me to make sure that every Houstonian knows that their lives are valid and protected and acknowledged. And we're going to continue to do that, and we were going to continue to vigorously defend our ordinance against repeal efforts. But I had 2 significant meetings yesterday, and they led me to the decision that I am announcing today. One of those meetings was with Houston pastors who I have known for a long time, communed with, worshiped with, and who have stepped up over and over again to demonstrate their care and compassion for Houstonians. Rudy Rasmus, who's with me today, Jim Harrington's with me today, and Chris C., who was not able to be here today, but the 3 of us sat down for coffee yesterday morning and had a calm conversation about what is best for the city of Houston, not what is best for the litigation. And while not persuaded at that time, it certainly gave me a lot of food for thought, and we committed to continuing to engage on the issue. But then later that day, I had a meeting with a group of pastors from across the country. They didn't call a press conference or a rally to attack me or the city. There were 7 clergy leaders, several of whom represented broader affiliations of clergy, and asked calmly and professionally for a meeting with me, and I made time available on my calendar. They had no knowledge of the particulars of our Equal Rights Ordinance. They had no knowledge of the petition effort. They didn't know any of the pastors who organized the petition effort and were the subject of the subpoena. They wanted to talk to me about broader concerns around and in fact, they were very clear that they didn't want to be drawn into a discussion of what was happening here locally, and then they weren't here for either a political purpose or to support those who passed the petition. They were strictly dealing with what are the implications of the subpoena, both the original subpoena and the subpoenas and the modified subpoenas on the broader religious debate. They came, as I said, without political agendas, without any animus, and with a real desire to have a conversation with me about what is best for Houston and best for these various religious denominations. They were passionate, they were concerned, they listened to me, I listened to them, and when they left, I came to the conclusion that, quite apart from what was happening here, since there were broader issues at play, I would make an announcement and that I would direct the city attorney to withdraw the subpoenas. As I indicated last week, I've always supported the right of clergy to say what they want, even if I disagree with them. It was never our intention to interfere with any members of the clergy and their congregants in terms of sermons, in terms of preaching what they believe is the word of the God that they serve. However, it is, of course, my responsibility to defend the city when we are sued, as we were in this case. We believe that we can vigorously defend the city of Houston in this petition effort, and that we can do it without the subpoenas, although one of the conversations I had with the gentleman yesterday afternoon was how to have that broader conversation about rendering under Caesar what is appropriately Caesar's in the legal context. However, today, and to conclude, and thanks for members of the faith community who are standing with me today, that I don't want to have a national debate about freedom of religion when my whole purpose is to defend a strong and wonderful and appropriate city ordinance against local attack. And by taking this step today, we remove that discussion about freedom of religion from the local arena. And thank you for being a part of this announcement today. And I want to thank, again, Pastor Rasmus and Harrington and the men of faith who traveled from all across the United States to have a civil conversation with me yesterday afternoon.